Hi everybody, my name is Michael Bork, and today I'm going to give you a little demonstration of how I was able to use multi-body modeling in Creo to create this goldfish, which I'm currently 3D printing. As you can see, it's made up of a number of hinges. There's a little hole here that fits 3mm filament, so you can just 3D print this. And I want to show you exactly how I did it and how much time I saved by making it a parametric model. So let's go back to my design. And what I'm doing here is a technique which it's been called master modeling. So basically, it may look like an assembly, but it isn't. It's all driven by one part. I'm calling it the multi-body fish. Let me show you exactly how I created it. We've got the model tree here. I've talked about that before. Today, we're going to get into using some of the abilities to use what is a design tree, which exposes just makes it easy to work with bodies. But let's go back and look at just how I created this, see how organized this is and how easy it is to understand, hopefully, how it works. So if I go back in time to the moment that I first had this idea, or actually I saw it online, I believe, somewhere, and I thought, hey, that's pretty clever. I bet I could do that myself doing Creo. So first thing I did was I created I'm going to turn this on. First thing I did is I created a sketch. And that may look pretty detailed. It's actually a spline. Maybe show you here. If you didn't know, you could go to the view menu up here, and go into model display and images. And what you can actually do is import anything you find online and put it on a plane. So here is the post that I found on someone was sharing this online, and I saw this and I instantly thought I could do this probably better. And they happened to share a profile here. So what I did is I imported that as a sketch, and then I scaled it to 220 millimeters, and I basically drew this sketch on top of that. So let me turn this off, and you'll see that's how I did it. And if I just show you, that's just a spline, and it's made up of a number of points, and I don't really care about the dimensions at this point, but that's what I've got. And if you didn't know, there's another cool feature about Creo, which is something called sketch regions. You can find it down here in the lower right-hand menu, and it's really a cool way to interact with some of the geometry you may have sketched. Because notice this, I can just click this, and the whole thing highlights. If I'm going to hit the Control key, I can also choose a little eye, and then it'll extrude everything. So watch this. If I go Model, Extrude, it's going to extrude that. Let me cancel that and show you just the first option, extrude. See what it does there? So that's really what I did for that first extrusion, which I just called body. And that was just one simple extrude, and it's just 10 millimeters thick. Okay. Then what I did is I resume this feature here. Is I created a series of extrude quilts. I'll just turn this on so you can see. I'll just hide. Now I'm going to start working with the design tree here to make it easy to work with. So I'm going to actually hide this body here so I don't see it, so that you don't see it. So you can see that I've just extruded a simple sketch as a plane, up to a plane, I should say, and that's all it is. And then what I did is I'm going to I've just used the pattern feature to pattern that in this direction, 34 millimeters. And actually, it was quite useful because I had to choose exactly where this was going to split, because if I don't split this in the right place, I could get kind of interesting problems with the geometry. So if I just highlight this here, you see where those cuts happen is kind of important. But now that I have those quilts, I have these operation, which I've put into a group over here called splits. The splits are basically everything I'm going to do here to split the body. So I'm going to split the body into sections. So here is the head. If I just show the head, that's the head. Here is another part that was cut from these operations, another part. I shouldn't call them parts, I should call them bodies actually, because that's what they are. But these were all just simply created by creating a split body and referencing those quilts, okay? So let me go ahead and turn all those on again. so we can see what we're doing. Now I'm going to add rounds to all these hinges that I've done on the cuts, and those rounds are done parametrically. Let me show you what I did there. Let me just expose this group and show you here. All it is just something called a full round. A full round will always will always see there's no actually dimension or radius needed. It's just going to make a full round, so it doesn't really care about the thickness. So if I make this thicker later, it'll automatically make the appropriate geometry. So I did that, and that's what created those cuts and those hinges. And then I created a series of, I just used some datums that were driven through those various rounds. And then I just extruded a cut through all the bodies at 3 millimeters. And then I added some what I'd call padding. I love using the flexible modeling feature here and using the offset feature. So what I did here is I'll just redefine this. I went all over the model and I gave myself some offsets because I plan to 3D print this. And my offset here is 250, 0.250 millimeters, okay? So then I did an auto round, which is another fabulous feature. This is going to comb through the entire model, and it's going to figure out exactly where all the edges are, and it's going to round them automatically by this number. Okay, so look at this. We have our model. I'm just going to hide the quilt from the design tree because we really don't want to see that right now. So I'm just going to hide that. We don't need to see that. We also don't need to see the profile. I had that hidden before. I like to keep things organized. And look at this. That is the fish. Now, what can we do next? Well, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get all this geometry out into separate parts. I'm going to right-click this head, and I'm going to say Create Part from Body. I do have a config option that's not allowing me to do this, but I have an override, so I'll click Confirm, and I can just put the name of any part here. I'll just call this Test Head because I've already done this under another name. And look what it does. It creates a part, and it knows automatically how to create that. This is actually an external reference tied back to the part. So this is done, using CopyGeom. But that is already built for you, so it's very quick to do. It even brings over the any of the kind of treatments that were done. So this part, all I need to do to print it is I just got to, or add it to my 3D printer, is I just go File, Save as a copy, and then I kind of give it as an STL file. I always choose the Customize Export option. I click OK. What I always do is put 0 in here, 0, because I want a very tight tessellation. I hit Apply, and Creo magically tessellates that file beautifully. I hit the Repaint button, and now I'm done. To take this even one step further, I'm going to show you I've actually created it into an assembly. These are just those parts that I exported, separate parts, right? They're all parametrically driven, as I said. But now I've gone and put them in as assembly. And when I did so, I put the first one in as a default, but the second ones were put in as a pin components, which gives me the ability to do some interesting stuff. I can sort of drag these bodies around. Let me turn off datum planes for a minute. This may act a little erratic, but if I think I can move this tail around. See that? Look at that. See how that does? It moves like that. So that's because these associations on how these parts are working together have been done through the association of a pin alignment. Okay. The next thing I did, other than just taking a screenshot of this, I'm now 3D printing this. Let me show you what that might look like. So I have Cura, which is a slicer that comes with my printer, and I've just laid those parts out on the tray as follows. It's going to take about 4 hours and 55 minutes. You see that it's not going to print it solid. That's kind of the thing that's interesting about 3D printing, is it can have an option to save you a lot of time. I really don't need these parts to be solid, so that's going to take 4 hours and 55 minutes to complete the job. But I can control a number of things. Let's say I want to add a much stronger wall thickness. So I will do so by typing in that wall thickness. And I want to, let's see, make this a little bit more stronger in case perhaps it I don't want it to break. So I'm going to make these walls on the top and bottom 1.2. Whoops, 1.2. Did you get it? 1.2. Okay, that's getting it now. Another thing I like to do is you can change the infill. As you noticed, it's using this sort of cubic infill. I can, if I wanted to print it solid, I could just put 100% here for the infill. Let's just do that to see what happens. And the time, it's going to go way up, but it's printing it solid plastic, so it's going to take 12 hours. It's going to use 79 grams of filament, and it's going to take 26 meters of filament. And as we slide and analyze these layers, in fact, this is kind of useful to know how 3D printing works. It just prints layer at a time. So this is me dragging a slider and showing you exactly how these parts are going to be printed. I really don't need to wait 12 hours for that. So I'm going to choose something more like 35. Whoops, not 3, 35. Okay. And then what I usually do is I just put this on a drive, and I go to the basement and put it in my printer, and I'll show you later what it looks like. So that is the presentation. I hope that you enjoyed it. Creo is really amazing when you can use and harness its power, and I really enjoy using multi-body modeling. It's really opened my eyes to new ways of modeling things. So I hope you enjoyed this. Goodbye.